They don't care about you. Check it out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. You know, my first question is this too far over the top? I mean, to literally say that an entire political party in the United States has become a death cult. Not just that they have some weird people who are sadists among them or something like that, but, you know, is this now like the core of this party? Over on Twitter, I posted my piece this morning, and one person, I'm not going to call out their names, I don't know if they would want that to happen or not, but one person says, a logical conclusion of decades of deadly policy, the guarantors of pain cult attracts sadists to its ranks. Misanthropic to the core, the army they have risen is deadlier than any enemy in our history. The body count tells no lies. This vehicle of evil serves one master, greed. So is greed what's behind the Republican death cult? Well, another person responds saying, could greed be the means to an end? The source of power over so many sadists can get what they really want, pleasure from causing suffering. The problem is the addiction like this kills the addict. And then the person who posted that initial response to my post says, I've been torn between which is the ultimate end, greed versus sadism. It's a chicken or egg question. I'm leaning toward your hypothesis, though. Greed requires a level of sadism, but I'm not sure the sadism requires greed. Green Sea is more like the vehicle. Thank you for your thoughts. Well, that's an interesting one. I honestly don't know the answer here, but I think that it's all of the above. Nancy in Elkhart, Indiana. Hey, Nancy, what's on your mind today? What do you think?
Well, I heard your subject, and mine is really kind of off subject, but the same kind of reason. I don't think people ask these Republicans to give a reason outright. We had, and this just has to do with giving a reason. We had a League of Women Voters Zoom meeting yesterday, and we had a state senator from Indiana who we were speaking with, and we felt like we were being too nice to her. Finally, one of our members just simply said, can you tell us just one thing, just something simple, like why don't you approve of mail-in voting? Nothing to do with cult. And she said, and I'm telling you the truth, the answer that she gave was, well, the standing in the long lines, you know what? We don't get to see our people and mingle with them as a family. And
you're kidding.
You know, we all just were very silent for a minute, and we said, you mean all that terrible thing about those people standing in those long lines, and they're waiting and getting, just really hurting themselves? And, her answer just was a simple, stupid answer. And now think about this.
This is to teach us to be more sociable?
Terrible things. They don't give answers.
Yeah. Well, that's because, I don't think she wants to say, well, we're a death cult.
Yes, but I mean for anything. But I don't think anymore. Nobody gets to talk to these people. And remember in the old days when they had good old debates. Yeah. But I don't think anybody asks these people. I mean, we don't get a chance to. We don't meet with people, right. And so that's basically my thought is, if somebody could actually go up, or if we could just meet with these people, they don't go, these people in federal. We don't have anybody saying, okay, now you tell me. And, we just don't have it. And even the Democrats don't have a chance to sit there and go back and forth. And it's really, they look like exactly what you said. But if somebody made them give a reason why they're voting. So I think, I think you got it right on the head.
I would love to ask Kristi Noem, the governor of, I think it's South Dakota. I mix up the Dakotas, my apologies. But I would like to ask her, why is it that you invited 700,000 motorcyclists to your state in the middle of the worst pandemic in 100 years, knowing that they would then not only spread the disease throughout your own state and kill thousands of your own citizens, but then take that out? We've identified now 36 or 37 states, I think, that have had significant outbreaks leading to deaths as a consequence of that one motorcycle rally. Why would you do that if your goal wasn't just to kill people?
Do you think they have answers?
I don't think they can answer the question beyond, yeah, we wanted to kill people. And then the question becomes, well, why do you want to kill people? Well, because Donald Trump told us to. Well, we know Donald Trump is a sadist. He revels in death and destruction. But, does that mean that everybody, this, like my dad used to say, when I'd say, well, everybody's doing it. And he'd say, well, if everybody was going off the cliff like a lemming, would you? And
or they're jumping off the roof, would you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
exactly.
I think what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you, Nancy. I got to move along. Thank you for the call. John in Kansas City, Missouri. Hey, John, what's up?
Oh, good morning, Tom. I'm going to get straight to the point because I'm calling about the same thing again. And from your opening, it is all about greed. It is everything with the Republican Party comes down to one thing: money for the few. Now, this COVID-19 that's just been released, I think I spoke this to you about last week, that the Republican governors from these states that you listed as the poorest wants to sue Janet Yellen so they can give tax breaks to the wealthy corporations in their state. They don't care about the people in their state that are suffering. They never have cared about the poor people in their state that are suffering. And this is why I'm saying this ties in with like I said, the 12 or poor red states. The Congress needs to be drilling this home with special orders, speeches, with a congressional oversight on this, because all they want to do, they do not care. I mean, this should be the Democrat mantra for a commercial for Republicans in their states, saying, Republican Party, they just don't give a damn about you. And just leave it at that and drill it home.
Yeah, because that's the case. I mean, the American Rescue Plan has, I think it's $300 billion. It's going to the states, localities, and counties. And the one caveat, the one string that is attached to that is that state officials may not use that money for tax breaks for rich people and big corporations. They have to actually spend that money on improving their fire departments, their public schools, their police departments, their roads, catching up on the stuff that catching up on the stuff that's been neglected for the last year. And you've got, my recollection is it was 19 Republican state attorneys general, it might be more than that now, who are suing and threatening to take this to the Supreme Court, saying, you can't limit how we spend that money. We want to give it to rich people instead of using it to help people in our states. And damn it, that's wrong. That's unconstitutional. You're absolutely right, John, and it's insane. Thank you very much for that. Zach in North Hollywood, California. Hey, Zach, your thoughts.
Good morning, Tom. You're right. It is a death cult. Ever since the white Europeans came to these shores 400 years ago, they've gotten everything they've gained by killing.
To a large extent, that's true.
Killing equals riches. There's a direct connection. Killing equals riches. And there's this unspoken meme floating around in the back of all their heads that the more people they kill, the less people coming after the riches.
Yeah. It may be, or it could just be that it's, as the person on Twitter suggested, it's just good old-fashioned greed, and if rich Republicans don't want their taxes to go up, that means that they've got to make sure the tax money is not used to help homeless people, or not used for health care services, or not used to make sure that the fire department has the latest equipment. A lot of wealthy communities in the United States have their own fire departments. So it could be that too. I mean,
we've come a long way, but it's still slavery light.
Yeah, I get it. Zach, thank you for that. Brad in Prattville, Alabama. Hey, Brad, what's up?
So one of the things that I think, the GOP cannot just come out and say that, hey, we want more money for rich people. We want to install a fascist state. They have to grab people in. And like you said before, they grabbed the evangelical vote in 40-some-odd years ago. A lot of evangelicals have this belief that in the end times there's going to be massive war, there's going to be rumors of war, plague, famine, so on. And I almost feel like they're trying to have a self-fulfilled prophecy.
Oh, wow.
And that's where they're going with this. And I think to an extent we have to separate the GOP politicians from the GOP voters, because I don't think most of these people, especially public figures who claim to be Christians, we find out what they do. It may be later on, but we find out that they're not really. And like you said, they're not following the teachings of Jesus. They're not feeding the hungry and clothing the naked. And, it's just hypocrisy. That's
healing the sick. Yeah. I'm with you, Brad. I'm with you. I guess that's kind of what it's coming down to. Are they sadists? Do they just revel in death and pain? Do they like seeing single mothers unable to feed their children, or are they just greedy? They just don't want to pay the taxes to cover it. Brad, thank you.